Hey y'all, today we're making green beans 2 ways. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need, obviously, is green beans. Now, I got a 2-pound bag of green beans, and the bag surely told me that these were washed and ready to eat, but they surely had stems on them. So I washed up my green beans, and then I popped off the stems on the ones that had stems, about 90% of the darn bag. So anyway, this kind of took me back to my childhood, though, y'all. Did y'all ever shell purple hull peas and stuff? When we was little, we used to go to my mama's house every summer, and we would sit around and we would shell purple hull peas, and we would shuck corn. We would do it at home too, though. And the corn, I hated when you would get those them big old worms would be in there. That just it was so nasty, y'all. I didn't like them worms at all. But anyway, let me know, did y'all shell peas and shuck corn when y'all were kids? So what I'm doing, because I don't like my green beans like crunchy, like, you know what I mean, like I'm not going to say underdone. They're not underdone, but I don't like mine, crunchy. I don't like crunchy green beans. So I'm going to put them in some water and boil them for about 5 minutes, okay? So the first one that we're making is crack green beans, okay? And I loosely followed the recipe. Y'all already know. So you need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder, and 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I'm using the low sodium because y'all know it's, I'm trying to be good. But I ended up having to add salt because, green beans, I got a lick of darn flavor, and I had to add some salt to them. So just taste your stuff. If you need to add some salt, add you a little salt. So the recipe actually called for the sauce part to be cooked on the stove. Y'all see the way my green beans look? That's how I started them before I put them in the oven, so they wouldn't be real crispy or crunchy. I like them crispy. I don't like them crunchy. There's a difference. So anyway, they called for the sauce to be done on the stove. That's 2 tablespoons of butter I just added. Now, they called for it to be done on the stove, and it was supposed to be like put your butter, your soy sauce, your brown sugar on the stove, heat it up, and then throw your green beans in there, and then, coat your green beans in the sauce. But I was like, I'm not messing up a whole nother pan for this. I'm just going to mix it up like this, and we're just going to roll with it. Now, if you do it on the stove, it will make it a little bit thicker, so it'll stick to your green beans a little bit better. But this worked out just fine for me, so this is the way I did it. So I'm gonna, once you get everything poured in there, once you get everything mixed up and coated, look, don't leave none of that behind, but don't try to scoop it out with tongs either, because what are we doing with our lives? But put them in an 8x8 pan. Now, that's what the recipe called for, so that's what I did, because y'all know I always try to behave. But the next time I make these, I'm going to put them on a cookie sheet. I do like the way that they crisp up a little bit more when they're all laid out flat. That's just personal preference. They tasted fantastic just like this. So you can do it, whichever way you prefer. So I just kind of tried to even them out a little bit, and you can see that the sauce is kind of down on the bottom, but that's okay. It's going to bubble up as it cooks, and we're going to mix it back in. So I cooked some bacon. Yes, there was a piece missing. I did quality control. Let's not talk about it. So I cooked those in the oven, a little bit on the crispier side, which I like crispy bacon anyway, but I cooked these a little extra crispy because I knew I was going to have to, tear them up and crumble them up on these green beans. And I didn't really want, even though they were going to cook in the oven, I didn't want to risk having like chewy bacon. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a fan of chewy bacon. That's just, again, personal preference. You do it how you want to do it. So I'm just crumbling this up, putting it all over our beans, and then we're going to put this in the oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 30 minutes. Okay? After your 30 minutes is up and they're as done as you want them to be, you can cook them a little less or a little more depending on the level of doneness you like your green beans. This is what they look like. And you can see my sauce kind of sloshing around in there. So what I did was I let it sit for just a few minutes, and then when you mix it up, the sauce is a little bit thicker and it really coats those green beans. They're fantastic. Okay, so the next one we're doing is garlic Parmesan green beans. So you're going to need a half a cup of softened or melted butter. I went way over and melted mine. Then you're going to need, I added in 2 kind of heaping teaspoons of garlic. Because they're garlic Parmesan, I wanted a lot of garlic and Parmesan in here. And then I added in about a tablespoon or so of oregano. Y'all know I'm not a big fan of Italian seasoning, so a lot of times when a recipe calls for Italian seasoning, I'll just use oregano. Then I added just the littlest pinch of salt and then a big pinch of pepper. You don't want to use a lot of salt because the Parmesan is super salty. And you definitely don't want these to be over salted. But again, taste them. And if you feel like you need to add a little salt, you definitely can. So I added in roughly a cup of that Parmesan. And then I added in the rest of that grated Parmesan that I have. Because much like that garlic, I just wanted all the Parmesan in there. That's the whole point of the recipe. It's garlic and Parmesan. I wanted a lot of both. So I didn't have fresh. Fresh would have been fantastic, but I used what I had, okay? So once you get that good and mixed up, you're going to dump the other half of that bag of green beans. Those are the ones we cooked up. You're going to just mix these up until all these green beans are completely coated in this Parmesan and garlic mixture. Now, I know y'all probably have been watching my videos, some of y'all for a long time, thinking this woman never eats a vegetable. Yes, I do. I just don't always show them because they're so easy to make. So I had to throw y'all in some side dish, some vegetable recipes, okay? We may have a few more coming here and there, but I just wanted to give y'all a variety, some choices. So for these, like I said, my parchment paper sliding everywhere. I put these on a cookie sheet and I spread them out as evenly as I could get them. Okay, just spread them out as even as you can. And like I said, you can add a little salt, a little pepper, whatever you want to add to the top of these if they need it. Okay, so you're going to put those in the oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes. So just again, watch it, and whatever level of doneness you like, that's what you do. Okay, both of these recipes, I made these the same night. And I ate on these for a week. They were fantastic, y'all, both of these. So if you're looking for a good green bean recipe, you can't go wrong with either one of these. And again, you can cook these to whatever level of doneness you like. If you like your green beans crunchier, then don't cook them as long. If you like them more crispy, cook them a little bit longer. Very versatile. And don't forget about our cracked green beans with that yummy soy sauce. All right, y'all, that is all I've got for y'all today, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.